Hello Commanders, welcome back to my channel. I'm Cmdr Embryo and I'm here today to share with you a new build. It's my Anaconda Explorer. Now there's two main ships that are used for exploration on the whole. It's ASPs and the Anaconda. Now the ASP is a fantastic little ship, well, relatively small ship compared to the Anaconda. However, I love using the Anaconda as an exploration ship. It's got all the internal space you're ever going to need, and if you've got the money to kit one out, fantastic. I personally would go for that over the ASP. The ASP has got benefits, more manoeuvrable, and it's got way better viewing from the cockpit. But it's a personal preference. I personally like the Anaconda. It gives me more options, as you'll see in the loadout in a second. So we'll just hit the outfitting screen right now. Okay, right, as you can see, we've got lightweight bulkheads. Don't bother putting any armor on the ship. It just adds weight to the ship and therefore reduces your jump range. Now the way I fit out a ship is I put all the items that I need first. For instance, frame shift drive, life support, sensors, and then going down and adding the bits and bobs that I need here, and then going back and matching my power that I need to the power plant that matches the power exactly. You don't need to put in don't need to keep to the biggest size of the power plant or any of the modules, or most of the modules, should we say. Obviously, the Anaconda can take a size 8 power plant, but that's ginormous, and that's for, that will give you way too much power from what you require for this particular build. Now, I've chosen an A5 power plant. Wherever possible, I like to choose A-grade items, purely for their heat dissipation and efficiency. The lower the grade, so B, C, D, etc., the more heat they generate, which is going to could cause you problems if you fly a little bit sort of dangerously, get close to maybe a neutron star or any other stars for that matter, and it will certainly help your fuel scooping. Means you can just keep that sort of distance away from the star, and your fuel scoop do the job. I've got next one here, thrusters. I've gone for A5. Now, if you go into your thruster go into your options to buy the thrusters, it will actually say which ones you can't have because of the mass of your ship. So I've gone down, and the lowest size I can go for is 5. And I can choose a D5, but exactly for the same reason as before, I don't want to use D-rated equipment on the larger items of the ship, because they really do make a difference to the heat generated. Next up, we have frame shift drive. Now, this, if on an exploration ship, this is an absolute no-brainer. You just got to go for the best you can get, obviously depending on the credits you've got. But if you're going for an Anaconda build, I'm assuming that you've got enough to get the items that you need. So we've gone for an A6 frame shift drive, which gives us with this build, gives us 34.22 unladen jump range. You see I've got a laden amount here, but I'll go into that in a minute. Right, life support. Now this is where you can go down to the lower grade items purely to save weight. Now the D grade stuff is the lowest weight across the board. So I've taken a D grade life support. If you're exploring, life support isn't going to really help you much, because you at the maximum you're going to get is 25 minutes of air if you've blown your canopy out, and that's not going to save you if you're thousands of light years away. You're dead. So I've gone for the lowest weight here. Now, power distributor. This is one where you're going to have to find a. This is definitely one that you can, sort of take to match how you want the ship to work. Now, with my sort of going through the options here, I've chosen a A5 because it still allows me to boost. If you go any lower than a A5, it will reduce your power distributor performance to a point where you will not be able to boost. Now, with the advent of horizons and landing on planets, being able to boost is going to certainly help you get off those slightly higher gravity worlds, and just give you more speed, especially when you're coming back or getting out. Over the first sort of 500 light years, you still will encounter NPC pirates, and they will, go try and attack you. So the boost, the ability to boost away just gives you that little bit of leeway, hopefully to get away from them. Fingers crossed they're not on a larger ship than you, so you won't get mass locked, and then you can just jump away. It's a personal preference. I like being able to boost. Sensors, for exactly the same reason as the life support, you're not going to be searching. You're not searching for bounties or anything like that. So D-grade sensors, lowest size, lowest mass, has the least effect on your jump range. Fuel tank, I've kept it standard. It's 32 tons. Fuel scoop. Now here I've gone for a B7. B7 purely because of my credit value. I've recently gone on a big splurge. I've gone for the Trinity. So I've got what I call the Trinity, the three largest ships. I've got the Corvette for combat. I've got my cutter now for trading, and I've got this Anaconda now for exploration. So I've got three ships. I've purchased these three ships recently, and so my credit balance has taken a bit of a hit. I couldn't stretch to the A7. We say here the A7 fuel scoop is 80 million. That's ridiculous. So, I mean, it's a fantastic scoop. As you can see, it scoops here 1.25 tons per second. However, the B7 scoops just over 1 ton a second anyway, so it's negligible. I mean, from a totally empty tank with this, it's still going to take about 30 seconds to go from empty to full. Whereas the A7, you'll probably do it in about 24 seconds, so 6 seconds. We're not really talking a great deal difference here. What's next? We've got down here. Now this is where I love the Anaconda, because of the size 6 slots here. We can go for 2 G6 vehicle hangars, each taking 4 slots. So I've got 8 SRVs. I'm a bit of a lunatic with my SRVs, and I've lost count of how many SRVs I've exploded over my time exploring Horizons. So I've taken 8 of them. Should suffice for a fairly big trip and some careful driving. I've gone here next for an A6 field maintenance unit. On my previous trips, I haven't really bothered taking the maintenance units because, in my experience, the main thing that gets nobbled is your hull. Well, the main things that get nobbled are your hull and your canopy. Now, with Horizons, with 1.5 and Horizons, you can now repair your canopy if it's not completely blown out. If you've got cracks, you can use your field maintenance unit to repair your canopy back to 100% health. So, in my mind, it's definitely worth taking now because my previous long trip got cut slightly short because of a couple neutron star encounters which affected my canopy and gave me the EBGBs. So I headed on back. Now with the change of being able to repair your canopy, I would certainly take an auto field maintenance unit now. Next here, we've got cargo racks. We've got 3 size 5 cargo racks. I don't plan to pick up any items. However, if I find anything interesting out and about, then I've got the space to do it. But the main reason for taking these racks and giving me myself 96 tons of cargo space is that I can then adjust. I can set my maximum jump range on the plotting screen. Now I'm not sure if we can go into the galaxy map from here. No, but I'll pop over to the galaxy map and I'll show you what I mean. Okay, so in the galaxy map, you've got your navigation tab. Now, if you've got no cargo space, you can't adjust this slider. However, now that I've got 96 tons, I can adjust up. So I can say, okay, right, I only want my maximum jump range to be 29.77 light years, which then obviously has a big bearing on your fuel use. So if I only want to be using, well, basically, it's about 75% of full usage. So I can make those jumps, make my fastest route jumps, push a little bit further on that one tank. Now, while we're in this screen, you'll see here that if we go into economical routes and change that back down to 0 tons, this build I can do 1,000 light years, which is the full plotting range on the full plotting range in the galaxy map here, and get the full 1,000 light years. Let's just see how far this 690. Let's go further about. Zoom out a bit, touch further. So 800. Pop it. Okay, so I'm not going to faff around. 976 light years. Let's plot a route to here. Let it do its thing. It's going to hammer the CPU for a second. Okay, you can see now that basically there's no dotted line. We can go all the way to our destination of 976 light years away within one tank. So if you find yourself in a neutron star field or well anywhere basically, and you're purely just going there just to get those planets and stars scanned, and you're not worried about distance, you know what I mean, getting as far as you want, but you just want to just plod on through. This is absolutely perfect. You be able to, I mean, you can still scoop the stars on the way through, and it's just an absolute blinding thing. Obviously, with 1,000 light years being the maximum plot range, I've got no idea how much further this could go without doing a test, which would take too long in this video. But it's just like my Diamondback Explorer build, it will take you the full plot range on economical routes. Fantastic. So back into the outfitting screen. Next down. Now, I wasn't quite sure what to fit in this size 4 slot. I could probably put another, I may well put another cargo rack, or even a docking computer for that return. But we'll leave that spare at the moment. A docking computer, well, in fact, let's try that out. If we add one now. Mass, it's got no mass, so we'll add that anyway. That's just to make that return trip all the easier, as long as it doesn't send you into the side of the station. So next one down, we've got shield generator. I've gone for an A4 again, same reason before. Without sounding like a broken record, A grade, so the heat is little issue. Now this is purely for horizons. Now, on my previous builds, I've taken either no shield or a pitifully small shield. So I've gone for a size 4 here because if you're coming in to land on a planet, just that little bit of cushioning, if you make a little bit of mistake, obviously it won't save you if you're coming in at Mach 15 and you just sort of just nose plant straight into the planet. Pretty much no shield is going to help you with that. But as a compromise for mass and just having a little bit of shield strength, again, to help those possibly, to help the attacks possibly from NPCs on your way out and maybe coming back in, just gives you a little bit of a cushion, a little bit of a buffer. Alright, again, you take a bigger shield or a smaller shield to suit your confidence, but bigger shields will affect your jump range more, smaller shields will give you less protection. Next down are the 2 items that you have to have if you're going on a exploration trip, and especially if you've got the credits to get them. You want your detailed surface scanner and your advanced discovery scanner. Remembering that the advanced discovery scanner, once you ping it off, discovers everything in the system, and it isn't limited by range. So that'll save you a huge amount of ball ache trying to find those teeny little planets, you know, against the background, which is an absolute nightmare. So if you can afford the 1.5 million credits for the Advanced Discovery Scanner, please, I implore you to get it. The Planetary Approach Suite, obviously, that's the same. That's the standard now if you're a Horizons user. Now, you may have seen, as I flitted from screen to screen, on my hardpoints here, I do not have any. Again, this is purely for your, like, my own personal taste. I feel I don't need heatsink launchers. I'm a careful explorer. I've been out several times, and I've learnt from my mistakes. The main thing you've got to consider is that exclusion zone around the stars, especially neutron stars. Keep away from that exclusion zone. If you get in there, your heat will build up. So if you're a little bit inexperienced, or maybe a careless flyer, or you've got distractions around, kids, etc., that you're going to be turning away and forgetting, oh crap, I've left my throttle on, then please, by all means, take a heat sink or two. It may just save you bacon, but in my experience, I haven't really used them and I haven't really needed them. And if you've got a field maintenance unit, if you do make a little mistake, you can always just bump up your little your hull point percentages, or not your hull point, your damage percentages back up to 100%, to alleviate any issues. Lost the screen. Right. So as you can see, I love this build. I've literally just come back from a quick trip out to Merope to check out the barnacles. They're pretty interesting, a nice little fun trip. From here at Shinra to Merope, it was a 14 jump trip, and it took about sort of 10-15 minutes. It's brilliant ship. I mean, you can get round those stars, scooping up your fuel in no time at all, and yeah, I mean, I love it. I can't fault this ship at all with this loadout, and it suits my style. As I say, this is huge caveats here. Anything that you wish to tweak with this, do so, but I've pretty much sort of got this tweaked to the jump range that I like. It's over 30 light years. Obviously, you know that Anacondas can get up to about 40 light years, 40.5 or maybe even 41, but that is super bare bones. That won't be shielded. You won't be carrying any vehicles, so it limits what you can do out and about now. But I think this is a pretty good compromise in terms of sort of taking all of those facets in mind, and able to get yourself out to the furthest reaches. Right. I hope this is helpful. I'll put the loadout in the description, and you can then peruse it at your own leisure. But I think that's about it. All right, commanders. If you've enjoyed the video, you find it helpful, please hit me a like. If you haven't subscribed to the channel, please do so. I've got plenty of other videos. I've got stream archives. They're more fun and games. Some stream highlights for those people that can't sit there and watch a 3-hour video, and various other ship builds, cinematic trailers that I've been trying to build, to put together. Not very skillfully at the moment, but I'm building up my skill base. Yeah, so I'll leave you there. You can catch me on Twitch, twitch.tv/Cmdr Embryo, and I'd love to chat with you guys in the chat. Maybe get you guys in the game as well. But I'm starting to ramble now, so I'll leave you to that. This build. All right. If you do take it out, I wish you all the luck. Please fly safe. Can't do that. Fly dangerous. Not too dangerously. Take care, commanders. See you soon.